Hello, how are you? I am great. We have reached the end of 2021. Thank every god that there is. No, I'm kidding. 2021 actually wasn't like that bad. I read a lot in 2021. Thank you for isolation and lockdowns and all of those things, because I actually got to read this year, which was fantastic. So today I'm just going to sit down with you and I'm going to tell you about the books I read in December of 2021, the last month of the year, the best month of the year, the month with the most stress in the year. No messing around today, I'm just going to jump into it. So the first book that I read in December of 2021 was Aurora's End by Amie, Kaufman and Kristoff. This is the third book in the Aurora cycle series. This book basically picks up immediately after the end of the second book, and it follows our 6 main characters as they enter a time mismatch storyline, is the most I can say about it without giving too much away about the plot. But basically, yeah, our main characters go into a bunch of different timelines and it's confusing, but it was great. I really enjoyed mostly the interactions between the characters. I think is still my favorite part of Aurora's End, and also just the entire Aurora cycle series. I really enjoyed listening to this series on audiobook. It was a really easy way to consume the story, and the full cast reading of it really enhanced the experience of the story. Another thing that I really liked about it is because of the multi-timeline thing that was happening, I genuinely couldn't predict what was going to happen at the end. I had not a clue. That could be because it was very well written, or because I don't read that much sci-fi, so I'm not well versed in the sci-fi tropes and arcs and storylines and stuff like that. I do know that they can be quite similar, but I was not expecting this one, so that was fun. So all in all, I gave Aurora's End a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book was a book that I actually did a reading vlog on, so I will leave that up here or down there, I don't know which one yet. That is future Michaela's problem. But I read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. First things first, Christina Lauren are 2 different people. Because Christina and Lauren, and they write books together, and that just blows my mind. Why is this not common knowledge? Because I had not a clue. How do 2 people consistently write books together? It worked. I liked The Unhoneymooners, but yeah, Christina Lauren, 2 different people. Who'd thunk it? The Unhoneymooners is a enemies to lovers fake dating trope book. It is super up my alley. I really enjoyed reading it. I had such a fun time. Again, I have an entire vlog just dedicated to that where I read it pretty much in one sitting. So our 2 main characters, Olive and Ethan, have to basically take this all expenses paid, no returns honeymoon from Olive's sister who just got married, and basically everyone at the wedding got food poisoning except the 2 main characters who are enemies. And they are forced to go on this holiday together. Well, they're not forced, they choose reluctantly to go on this holiday together. And due to certain people being at the resort they're staying at, they have to continue this facade of fake dating, which proves a lot of difficulties and arguments and tension, and there's a lot of angst as well, which was just perfect. I really enjoyed The Unhoneymooners, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. For that reason, because I just had so much fun reading it. The next book I read was an ebook that I read, and I actually did a buddy read for this one as well, and it was All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. I started this in that last reading vlog, so if you haven't watched it from the last time I mentioned it, maybe now is the time to watch it. All Boys Aren't Blue is a memoir, autobiography, written by George M. Johnson. Basically follows his story growing up as a queer black male and all of the different oppressions and abuse that he suffered. There's a few trigger warnings in this, so just read up on that first if you want to read this. It was a little bit heavy, but overall it is a book that made me question my unconscious biases and my internal biases, which is something that I really like in books, because when they make me question myself and grow as a person, that is amazing, because personal growth is one of my core values. Fun fact. I laughed in this book, I cried in this book. There are so many poignant issues and quotes and relevant things that are stacked into a very, very short book. So if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it if you're up for something that is going to challenge the way that you think and the way that we understand the world, if you don't already see it that way. Yeah, it was just really good. I enjoyed reading it. I also really enjoyed buddy reading it with Sharni because I wouldn't have read it otherwise. And also buddy reading with Sharni is just super fun. So yeah, that was also a really good experience for that reason. And so I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars as well. The next was a beloved book across all of the platforms. I finally read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I bought this probably actually this time last year. I bought it in the like end of year period because I had a bunch of like vouchers and stuff to spend on books, and so I went and did that, and Six of Crows was one of the books that I picked up. Little did I know that I had to read the entire Shadow and Bone series first. Now, my verdict, because I read the Shadow and Bone series so that I could read Six of Crows, and I'm glad that I did. I didn't need to for the story, but just for context of what Grecias are and the world and what cities we're going to, I'm really, really glad that I read Shadow and Bone first, because it is actually set after the events of that trilogy. Six of Crows is a heist novel. It's a young adult fantasy. It follows our 6 main characters, obviously the 6 crows, as they embark on this heist. I knew nothing going into this about the actual story, despite the fact that it's in the Greciaverse, and I know that it follows these characters. I know that everyone loves Kaz Brekker, and personally I don't love him all that much, to be honest. I really, really, really enjoyed Nina and Matthias. I also really enjoyed Jesper and Wylan. So those were like my 4 main characters. Didn't love Kaz. Everyone loves Kaz, don't love Kaz. And I think it's also because I pictured all of them as they appear in the TV show as well. So that kind of impacts my everything for it too. Kaz just rubs me the wrong way as a character. I'm sure there's like reasons for it, and I haven't thought about it, to be honest. I don't want to think about it. My verdict is that I will pick up Crooked Kingdom, and I will read Crooked Kingdom only so that I know what happens. I'm not super invested in the story, but I did like it more than Shadow and Bone. Like much more. I was much more invested. Also because I listened to it via audiobook, I think that that was also a huge influence to me liking it more, enjoying the story, and then actually finishing it within a timely manner, unlike Shadow and Bone. I enjoyed the story. The heist element was interesting. It kept me engaged. Again, much more than Shadow and Bone did. And because I am a generous rater, I did rate this 4 out of 5 stars. Probably mostly because I rated Shadow and Bone 3.5. So I was like, well, that's naturally the progression is 4 out of 5 because I liked it more. The last book that I have actually completed in December, because today is the 29th of December and I do not predict finishing a book in 2 days. Last book that I read was Night Study by Maria V. Snyder. I think I finished this probably before a few of the other books that I've mentioned. Night Study is the 5th book in the Poison Study series by Maria V. Snyder. I've spoken extensively about the series on my channel because I've been rereading them for basically the second half of this year. Night Study took me so long to get through. I have again an entire reading vlog about finishing this book. I will say that the second half of the book was much more engaging than the first half, and I think that that contributed to me not finishing it within a timely manner because it took me so long to get into it. But once sort of everyone came together and people got captured and things started happening, that's when I like started to keep reading, and I finally finished it. So I have 1 book left in the series. Very excited for that. Overall, my thoughts on Night Study, it was kind of boring. There's some thoughts I have about Valak. I mentioned it in the vlog, so if you want to hear my thoughts about him, go watch the vlog. But his character like also rubbed me a little bit the wrong way in this book for reasons, and overall my thoughts were it was average. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I was just looking, and this book took me like over a month to finish. I started on the 27th of October and I finished it on the 3rd of December, so it took me a long time. Also, this was the first book that I finished in December, not the last one, but you know, order doesn't matter here. But anyway, those are all of the books that I have completed in December of 2021, my last wrap up of the year. We did it, guys. We made it. I have already posted my top 5 books of 2021, so if you want to see those, go check that out. Yeah, thank you to everyone who is new, who's joined me this year. I have gained quite a few subscribers this year, which was crazy. And thank you everyone so much for that. Welcome. I am so glad to have you all here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy your 2021 of reading, most importantly. and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye. I just made my toe bleed by dropping 6 of crows on it.